Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. A break today from Ether Drift that I've been doing this week so far, because I had this comment a couple of days ago from Nelson Corny Joe 6062. Hopefully I haven't butchered that too badly. Hi there, is it possible to make a video on Hakbal of the Surging Soul? Yes it is, because when people ask, I tend to respond. So, Hakbal, for those of you who don't know, is a merfolk, legendary creature, merfolk scout, 3/3 for 2 green and blue. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, each merfolk creature you control explores. So, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land, put it in your hand. Otherwise, you can put it on back or put it in your graveyard and put a +1/+1 counter on a card. But whenever Hakbal of the Surging Soul attacks, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. And if you don't, you draw a card. Okay, there was only one way to go with this, and it was merfolk typal, to be perfectly honest. And yeah, that's what we've done. So here we go. Here's what today's deck looks like, and I hope you appreciate it, my friend. Actually, appreciate's the wrong word. I hope you like it. Let's get the terminology right. Here we go. Anyway, so at the beginning, we have got 37 creatures. They are all mainly merfolk. I'm going to be honest about it. I think they all are off the top of my head, but we'll check as we go through. So, 1 drop, Sea Knot Scout, because it comes into play and explores. And then we have a Jade Light Spelunker, because why would you not want to explore X times and make a really big merfolk scout if you can? Mistcloak Herald is also in, can't be blocked. This is here because of the explore ability at the beginning of combat on each turn. And if you can't be blocked, you're always going to get your damage through until someone kills it off. We have the pump guys with Coral Helm Commodore here. Yes, it's going to take us a lot to level this up to level 4, but once we do, all our merfolk get +1/+1. Cope with that. Deep Root Elite, another merfolk enters the battlefield under your control. You get to put a +1/+1 counter on another merfolk you control. Cura's Follower, just to untap things. Lord of Atlantis is the traditional merfolk lord that we're all aware of. Gives all our other merfolk +1/+1 on Island Walk. Merfolk Branchwater explores when it comes in. Merfolk Mistbinds and just pumps all our creatures, all our merfolk up by +1/+1 again. Nikazal Current Collector. Whenever a creature you control explores a land card, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield, tapped. And whenever a creature you control explores a non-land card, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on Nikazali. Yeah, so for a 2 mana 2/3, this guy can get out of control in this deck quite quickly, I feel. River Herald Scout just explores, another one. Shaper Apprentice, as long as we control another merfolk, it has flying, so that's quite nice. Gives you a little bit of evasion. Silver Gill Adept always turns up in all merfolk decks, I think, in modern that I ever see, just for the extra card draw. Thranos Triton Hero, scry 1. Pay 4 mana, scry 1, then reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land, put it onto battlefield tapped. Otherwise, you draw that card. But it's still a 1/3 merfolk for 2 mana. Cold Isle Selkie comes in. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you draw that many cards, and it's got Island Walk itself. And then one of the non-merfolk creatures, Enduring Vitality. We've got this in just so we can ramp out a bit quicker and cast our creatures a little bit quicker because of the ability it gives all creatures. Jade Light Ranger does double explore tricks. Cura, the Rising Tide, comes into play. We draw 2, discard 2, and then if we have Threshold, so 7 or more cards in our graveyard, we get to, and we attack with Cura, we get an 8/8 Octopus that's legendary. Sinian of the Deep, to be precise, but it's good fun. Coupler, Warden of the Waves, means that our merfolk are very hard to target, so effectively spells that your opponents cast that target a merfolk you control cost 2 more. So kind of a wall 2 effect, but it also works for abilities, which is why it hasn't been herited towards. So, hey, but I like the plan. Cave Diver, whenever a creature you control explores, it gets +1/+0 and can't be blocked this turn. In this deck, this should be triggering every time Hakbal's in play. So you're going to have some unblockable 3/4, 4/4, 5/4, 6/4, 7/4. It's just going to be a pain for your opponents to deal with. It really is. Merfolk Sovereign just pumps our creatures up and gives something unblockable. River Herald Guide does the explore trick when it comes in, but has vigilance for 3 mana for 3/1. Sentinel on the Nameless City, when it enters the battlefield or attacks, you get a map token. So maps are artifacts, if you don't remember, you pay, I think it's 1 sacrifice. Target creature explores. So yeah, okay. Shapers of Nature, just chuck around +1/+1 counters, or we can take some +1/+1 counters away to draw some cards. Singer of the Swift Rivers enters the battlefield. You get shield counter on another creature you control. Great target to put onto Hakbal, so we give Hakbal a bit of protection. And then you may cast merfolk spells as though they had flash. That's a nice little subside. Selvul of the Sea and Sky is indestructible as long as we've got 2 other merfolk in play. Whenever he attacks, we draw a card. And it does then chuck around Ward 1 onto all our merfolk as well. So I like this plan. Tishana's the Wayfinder just explores, a 3 mana 2/2 that explores when it enters. Wistful Silky just comes into play and draws a card. Deep Fathom Echo, at the beginning of combat on your turn it explores, and then you may have it become a copy of another creature you control until the end of the turn. Don't have to, but you can if you want to. Deep Root Historian just means that we've got a way of casting all of our merfolk from our graveyard back into play by doing the retrace trick, which is basically discard a land and then pay the casting costs to play them from the graveyard. The other non-merfolk creature in the deck is Enduring Curiosity, so we can keep the card draw going. Herald of the Secret Streams basically means that most of our army will be unblockable because they should all have some +1/+1 counters on them most of the time, therefore can't be blocked. Seafloor Oracle, whenever a merfolk you control deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card. Mist Dancer, other merfolk you control get +1/+0 and have flying. And yeah, the Encore ability is quite nice as well, to be honest. We had to play Tatiova, the Benthic Druid, just for the landfall trigger and the card draw on the life gain. And then the big 2 guys at the end, Prime Speaker Zeniga, just gives us more cards to draw. And Tishana, the Voice of Thunder, has power and toughness equal number of cards in our hand, and whenever it enters the battlefield we get to draw a card for each creature we control and then have no maximum hand size as long as Tishana's in play. We have a few spells to help us out and keep us going, so we've got a counter spell, Cyclonic Rift, Bit of Ramp with Farseek, Mana Drain for small control, Nature's Law, Rampant Growth, 3 visits. I will say, by the way, if you're building this in real life, take out the Mana Drain, just play, I don't know, any other counter spell you can think of. Mana Leak springs to mind. Same casting cost, not quite as good, but it's probably cheaper to do for that. Obscuring Haze just prevents us from all the combat damage. I mean, our guys are quite small overall until we start going off, so we do need a way to keep them going, and this stops all the damage that we dealt this turn by creatures your opponents control. So you can still do some blocking, maybe kill some things off and keep all your guys alive. You can change this for heroic. Whatever, it's the one in the blue one that makes everything indestructible and hexproof. That's another one you could change for, but I just decided to play Obscuring Haze for a change. More control with Ether Eyes and Ether Spouts to get all the attacking creatures out of the way. Jaheira's Respite's in because it prevents all combat damage to be dealt this turn, but we do get to go and get a whole load of basic lands out of our library, so we have got 10 I think in the deck as it stands, if I remember correctly. And then a little bit of fun because we do want to punch through once we get some of our smaller guys into play. Overrun is probably one of the best punch through cards ever printed, and I still play it nowadays, so yay, I like it. Artifacts wise, Elixir of Immortality to shuffle all our merfolk back in when they get I don't know, killed off, husked, I don't know, whatever. Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, one of each of the medallions, basically covers our ramp side. Herald's Horn, because why would you not want to play this and choose merfolk and make them cost less? Likewise, Icon of Ancestry lets us look at the top 3 and pumps them all up again. Patchwork Banner pumps everything up again and acts as a little bit of extra ramp, and it made sense for this deck to have Urza's Incubator in to cut the cost down of our merfolk, especially Hakbal when he's been killed off a couple of times. Worth pointing out, if you have this in play on turn 3, turn 4 you can play Hakbal for 2 mana and still get another merfolk or 2 in a play, so it works. A few enchantments for one of my decks, a bit unusual for me I know, but we have had to do this. So Deep Root Pilgrimage, when our merfolk become tapped, we get a 1/1 blue merfolk creature with hexproof. Mero Commerce means we can untap all of our merfolk each turn, at the end of our turn anyway. Deep Root Waters, whenever we cast a merfolk spell, we get a 1/1 merfolk with hexproof, so it's slightly better than the Deep Root Pilgrimage because it's just a cast trigger. You don't need to have the spell resolve, you still get the 1/1 merfolk if this happens. Now, you probably saw 34 lands here, but we are playing Growing Rights of Itlamok, and we are playing Hadana's Climb. So we are technically playing 36, so 34 plus 2 double face cards. They're both here. Growing Rights does the Gaze Cradle eventually, and Hadana's Climb just makes something stupidly big eventually with the +1/+1 counters chucking around. It made perfect sense to me that we had Path of Discovery in here to carry on exploring, and then finally Reflections of Littjara so that we can copy our spells as they come in. We choose Merfolk, cast the spell of the chosen type, copy that spell. Let's have multiples of everything. Like I said, 34 lands in the deck, maybe a little bit low, but if you look at the average casting cost of the deck, if you ignore everything from sort of like here onwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You're looking at 9 creatures that cost, 4 or more mana. Everything else is that under it, so you should be okay realistically with 34 lands. We are playing Reliquary Tower today because we do need to make sure that all the cards we're drawing they're not discarding. I mean, push comes to shove, we have got Elixir in here to shuffle everything back in, and yeah, Yavimaya, Cradle of Growth sorts out of mana, and Temple of the False Gods here as well today, just so I point out, along with the lands that let us name a creature type to get those colours going. And that is it. I hope, Nelson, there you go, you're up here, just show you off again. This is what you're looking for. I hope it's the sort of deck you wanted to play. If it's not, let me know. We can talk about it. I will play Hakbal on stream as soon as I can. Might even be Thursday. This is coming out on Wednesday, so maybe tomorrow night on the stream I'll try and give it a game, or one of the Sundays coming up very soon. Sorry if it went a bit weird there. Didn't want to sneeze down the mic. But it's fun. It's a good laugh. Yeah. And your other deck you asked about, I will get around to doing it at some stage. As I said to you in the comment, for those who don't know, Nelson also asked me to look at Davros from the Doctor Who set. Because the Doctor Who cards aren't on MTGO yet, it's going to take me a little bit longer to do that one. But that will come at some stage, I promise, over the next, few weeks. So, for now, if you like what you've seen, please hit the subscribe button down below. There's 598 people here subscribed as I record this video today, so hopefully we'll get a few more. Hopefully this, and hopefully some of the Ether Drift stuff. Ether Drift, next one will be tomorrow. And yeah, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, take care, and hopefully you'll come back and check out the Ether Drift video tomorrow. See you soon. Bye.